I got a headset on.
But you
Like I have a headset and I have a mic. I have a purple one. I have my purple
Okay.
mic.
Yeah, I probably scarred Dolores with the mic for Shannon by asking her to redo the mic so many times.
Shannon's like 3. Shannon, you're 3.
Okay. Okay, you are recording. Stacey's decided to give us ages. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm telling you though, I'm not supposed to be that old. It's the hair.
And you've got a nice part going on too.
Yeah, well.
You got adult glasses. So is that my microphone? Wait a minute, I have 2 things in my hand. Okay, guys, look at this.
Yeah, I don't totally remember.
I have
Yeah,
a
I have
teddy bear
something that
behind me that I
that
found
she
out.
didn't notice.
I didn't notice until
you have
last
teddy
night.
bear and some plants.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't even see all that in the background.
Let me figure out what you'd be holding. You're holding 2 mics.
One's
a blue
not
mic
enough.
And a pink mic.
Yeah, because I'm like, I've got something in both hands.
Really?
Uh-huh. Yeah. She's a baby.
Well, because where's the original picture? Yeah, you have it. There's the original.
Yes, and I remember that, and we were like, "Oh my God, that looks so much like her." Look at that.
Okay, send me that.
Okay.
That might be my profile picture.
Baby AI.
Baby
Stacey.
Stace.
Yeah.
Baby Stace.
Girl, that is so damn funny.
Yeah, but see, and it's the hair. It's because like when you really look at the face, like it's obvious that I'm like 4.
8.
I'm telling you, I have a 9-year-old. I can show you Sloan at 8.
Baby, she is too cute.
I know. I mean,
Girl, and look at
that's
those.
you gave me this like false sense of like, oh, these are all gonna come out so cute. No.
3 women, 1 group chat, 0 chill. Shannon, calm until she's not.
Pop off when I need to.
LV, if rage baking was a person.
Fuck off, Betty Crocker.
Stacey, where charm meets consequences.
Did your mama let you go out like that?
The A Collective starts now.
Welcome back. Season 2, episode 2 of the A Collective. And we've got another banger of a topic today. Let's get into it.
What is it, Shannon?
It is about women who are perceived possibly to be loud. I just think they give off alpha energy.
Cut.
Yeah.
I think they give off alpha energy, but they're perceived to be a lot of times loud, aggressive, bitchy,
Angry.
Yeah.
When men display those skills, they're considered what?
Powerhouses.
Leaders, all those things. So let's get into it. What are your thoughts, ladies? No, wait. See, you got me so twisted up on this topic. We're supposed to introduce ourselves first.
We are doing.
This is a mess.
I am Shannon, and with me today are my partners in crime, love,
Everything.
chitty chat, everything.
Amateur podcasting.
Yeah, I'm Stacey.
And I'm LV.
All right, y'all. Let's chop it up. What do y'all think?
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
How many of us have gone through this? I'm sure all of us. We all have strong personality, but we all have strong personalities. So how many times have we been called loud, aggressive?
Mm-hmm.
I know I've been called that several times, especially in the workplace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think about that. And that's the label that we carry, especially as a Black woman, right? So here I am. And in real life, I'm a project manager. So that's kind of my job. But when I hold people to account to do what they're supposed to do, then guess what? Stacey's aggressive. Or am I just holding you accountable for your job?
But in a man, that's what? That's leadership.
Yeah.
He's exhibiting leadership.
Yeah. And why is that though? Because it's been a thing. Like women have been very soft-spoken in the background for a long time. Think about that. In the early 1900s, women weren't saying things. Now we've evolved and we're loud.
Well, it's because we had no rights and we were all expected to be tradwives.
You're a nasty woman.
Mm.
And that comes from the commander-in-chief.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the role of women has evolved over time. So if we think back in like the 50s and the 60s, most women worked in the home. They were homemakers. They were not out here in the world working. And so I think the 70s, women's liberation, women's lib, caused a shift in that. And so now the majority of women work outside the home.
Absolutely.
But we are seeing this trend where more and more women, especially probably within that right side echo chamber, it's a tradwife. Everybody wants to be a tradwife again. And while, I wouldn't mind having some of those roles. Like, I'm never going to be subservient in that way.
But you would be a housewife.
Oh, hell yes.
Depend on your hubby, right?
Yeah, because I'm tired.
Okay.
I'm tired.
See, I don't
Yeah, I'm
think
not
either.
about this women's lived life no more. You can
You're
miss me
not?
with it. No. Once upon a time, I was like, oh no, I have to get out here in the world, make my own money, have a job, all this.
Yeah, I don't want to do that anymore.
Baby, housewife me.
Yeah.
Housewife me now. I don't need to work. If you're going to
still
take care of all these bills and make sure the house is good, we all good, housewife me.
But I'll never be a full-blown tradwife. Traditional, is not really in my vocabulary.
But I think we all exude confidence and we are unapologetic in what we say. Like all of us have social media platforms and we just say what we want to. So I wonder how people perceive us.
Loud.
Very loud. We all need to continue to be loud. This is the time to be loud, right? There are so many things that are going on in our country. We need to be speaking up.
Well, I can promise you I'm not going to be quiet.
No, I can never be quiet. I wasn't born to be quiet. I'm never going to be that person. So what you see is what you get. I'm going to say it, a lot of times it might not be the nicest, but if I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay opinionated. I have a lot of opinions about things, so I'm going to continue to speak on them.
Do you think that holds women back in corporate America?
I think it depends on the corporate culture.
Okay.
Culture dictates a lot of things. It dictates how women are perceived, treated in an organization, if they're valued in an organization. I think all of that plays a huge part in even also the amplification of women's voices in corporate America.
Well, and I think
To
it
you,
also
LV.
depends too on like what field they're in, right? There are going to be some that you're going to be more likely to find a corporate culture that is going to go one way or the other within specific fields.
Think about like what we see on social media. So we see like soft life from certain creators, and then you have other creators that are usually brown people. They are labeled as like loud and doing too much. It's just the perception. They're doing too much. They're too confident of having, how can I say this, maybe a pretty aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, but LV can have a soft life. But Stacey, if she is soft life, she's braggadocious, right? It's you know what I'm saying?
I think it plays into a lot has to do with stereotypes regarding gender roles and race roles in America. And that plays into how people are perceived as well as in the social media world, their content.
Okay.
And, I think sometimes people don't think a soft life aesthetic exists for a lot of Black women.
Crazy.
And I think some Black women don't think it exists because hustle culture. And we've always had to be 10 times better, ahead, that kind of thing. So
I hate it here.
Where do you want to go?
It's just wild to me. Absolutely 100% wild to me that it is 2025 and we still have to have these kinds of conversations, right?
So I'm going to say yes and no. And I guess, this is a life difference because this is a life I live. I'm not surprised. I live it every day.
Oh, I'm not surprised in the slightest. I'm just more saying it's just angering that we are still here.
Do you think it'll change?
I think these next several years, these next probably 10 years are hugely pivotal in terms of where does the country go in the direction of its politics and its rhetoric. So we know we've got out of that 10, we still have 3.5 to go with our current commander in chief. And I think things will continue to denigrate.
Well, yeah, because we're sliding back.
And we're sliding quickly. Like,
Very,
it's
very quick.
whiplash, the amount of change and things that have happened over the last several months.
Well, think about something. We wouldn't be in this position if people listened to who?
The loud women.
The loud women. Kamala Harris. We had Hillary. Nasty women. That's what they were labeled because they were confident. And here we are. So listen to women. And I'm going to throw this out there. We know what's going on. And we wouldn't be in this position. But do you think that's what scared voters?
No.
You don't think so?
No, because racism. If they weren't scared, they were not scared. Them people just said, hell to the no, no, no. I'm not voting for her. She
Or
is
Black
Black.
woman.
And got nothing to do with being scared that she loud, she this, she that. No, she's Black. she's part black. I don't want to vote for her.
Well,
She's part black and a woman. I don't want to vote for her.
So I think that did scare him, though. It's like, I don't want this black woman to be ruling over me. She's not going to lead this country.
But do you think that's fear? See, and maybe it's the lens through which we're each looking at this. I don't perceive that as fear. I perceive that as you don't want it. You're racist.
Mm-hmm.
You're misogynist. You don't want it. You don't want it. Now, you did not vote. I don't care what they say. You sure didn't vote on Christian principles.
God. But they're using that.
They are. The weaponization of Christianity as somebody who is super churchy, I've made a living in the church world. It's absolutely alarming. It makes me sad. This ain't the way to make Jesus famous. And Jesus
Caroline
is going to say, depart from me. I didn't know you. I don't know you. I don't know you.
And LV's favorite person, Caroline Levitt, wearing her cross every day as she gets up there to lie, be evil. That's a prime example. But do you think people view her as being a loud woman?
Probably, unfortunately.
You think so? See?
Yeah, because, she's a wannabe, right? Because she tries to exude. Yeah, when apparently she's always been interested in the power.
Okay.
Which would be probably how she ended up with her husband.
Okay.
But I think that that's just what she's like. She wants to be seen as this tough, badass woman. But when she tries to, it's common sense and there was obvious, it just comes across like fake, like an act.
Yeah. She, in my opinion, comes across as angry.
Yeah. Oh.
All the time. Yeah. But I wonder, would
I
she ever be called
next Tuesday? But yeah,
would she be labeled the same as like I would be if I was in her job and screaming?
Well, I mean, I think that if you look even at like the whole Blake Lively thing, we swung from everybody being very much like Team Blake to not. And like, I don't know enough about it, but I do know that oftentimes you can either use it for good or use it for evil, right? Like, was she playing this kind of like wholesome, was that all an act and she's just evil? Or is she just, allowed? And now
it was an act.
It was an act.
I think it was an act because, baby, she's a conniving woman.
I think she is conniving.
Yeah.
What has come out about her, and if it's allegedly true, baby, she's allegedly a conniving
100%.
woman.
You think she just got caught up in what she was doing? You think she just got caught up? Because I'm not up to speed.
I think she became a little bit under the influence of that husband. He was jealous, and she didn't know what to do with that and maneuver with that a bit. And I think that's how we got some of that. But a lot of times women are not always what they appear, because they can be cracking around the edges. They could be conniving. They could have one perfect example of somebody who was not quite what their image was. Whitney Houston. So Clive Davis, that marketing, that Arista marketing machine, wholesome, girl next door, but
I mean, from the church.
Yeah. Her mama was, she's got this legacy, pop princess, whole bit. Baby, she allegedly was the one out here introducing the Bobby to drugs, not her. Bobby took the blame for that because he had this bad boy image, right? And the grinding and all this. But he was actually the wholesome one.
And she was wild business.
Babe. Yes. She was out here.
And baby, they say Whitney could cuss you out good. I remember how she cussed with Wendy Williams. She got Wendy together.
I met her once in the airport.
Who? Whitney?
She was with Bobby, and all I could see was that raw. He gifted her a ring, not a ring, a ring. And they were both in white. They were traveling in New York. And they had actually, she had Bobby Christina at the time.
Okay.
And she was like a little girl. She was probably 3, 4, something like that. And they were together, and she was hung all over him. And, I think somebody said something, Miss Houston, it's Mrs. Brown. Oh yeah, she was serving up a little toot. But, Whitney Houston, they were in their all white outfits, traveling.
That ring was...
Baby, that ring was ringing. Thing was huge. It was huge. He gifted her quite the rock. He loved
Christina could have like ice skated on it.
Baby, he loved it at her.
They loved each other.
They did.
They just weren't a great match.
No.
They were a toxic match.
They were a toxic match.
Yeah.
Do you think it was because she was loud?
No.
Okay.
She had some issues that she didn't deal with.
I was going to be like, I think it was because she had a very large drug problem.
And she had that for a long time.
And I think she went both ways. She didn't know what to do with
And that
that.
sounds like an old Black woman. She went both ways.
She did. She
couldn't be herself because the image that they had painted of her.
Baby, was you America's pop princess. Now you done hooked up with this bad boy and, but she wanted to be herself, which meant she went both ways. She loved, allegedly, her assistant, who was her Robin, baby. Robin.
Mm-hmm.
She loved Bobby too, but she wanted to do her thing. She just wanted to be free to be her. And, she could. But I think that's a thing where image doesn't necessarily match up with who you are. I think also good, bad, or indifferent, Britney Spears, another one. I feel like image doesn't match who she is who she really is. So
well, it sure didn't way back when. That is for sure.
And before
now,
all
I
the
think
mental,
it's probably a little closer.
Yeah. I mean, but at the root of this, we have drug issues too, right?
Well, yeah, the Holly weird.
Yeah, but it is true. I mean, the number of times over the years when I have stood up for myself, suddenly it's, oh, you're being a bitch, or why are you so loud?
Mm-hmm.
I even remember when I was like, oh God, is it me? Like after the whole coach thing, and I talked to original Bumble boy because we're still kind of friends, and I asked him, and I'm pretty sure he used the term loud.
Really?
Now that I think about it, I mean, I think that men in general shy away from loud women because they don't want to be overshadowed, or they don't want to feel like they are not at the forefront. I mean, I guess that's the same as but like they're not the top dog in the relationship.
Women that speak up are labeled as crazy, especially in relationships, because they are not going to let somebody run all over them. And they speak out, they publicly say it. Baby, and we are in a social media age, and we have seen the girls that have outed the men that have done them wrong, and people call them crazy.
Yep.
And are they crazy, or are they just putting somebody on blast?
I think it's a mix, because sometimes
it depends on what extreme you go to, right? So when you start airing out everything, there's a thing going on, and I don't know, Shannon, if you saw this. It's a pastor, his wife just aired him out in Hattiesburg.
Wait, is this the one where she tagged him?
And the executive pastor that so we have stuff like that. And what is she going to be labeled? Because the executive pastor, who is a woman, is married.
Baby, she tagged her husband.
I think she tagged her husband too in this.
She tagged her husband and the executive pastor in the post. It was like a Facebook post.
Yes.
She tagged them both.
Okay.
She said, because it was the post was something like, this is day 6, let's say, of my husband, John Doe, having an affair with executive pastor Susie Q.
Absolutely. And I think Susie Q's husband was tagged in that too.
Maybe the husband was tagged in the caption, but like the post, it was a text post.
It sure was. Baby, and she writing.
No, mine was print. Mine was typeface, just
yeah, I think mine was cursive if I saw it, because I just happened to be minding my business and I saw it and I was like, I am going to live stream the church probably on Sunday.
Baby, the streams in the church may be up tremendously.
Maybe it might crash.
And they better have sat that executive pastor down. But yes, but baby, a woman scorned, and a woman scorned by her church or by somebody who claims to be a pastor in the church, executive pastor or not.
Pastor.
Baby. Pastor Susie Q, because I remember actually that pastor's first name, but Pastor Susie Q.
I do too. Because I looked at her page. And so Pastor Susie Q is married to this man that I promise you, I think he was in that post. But there are multiple posts about this, but they have somebody that just graduated kindergarten.
Apparently, these people do not care. They don't care.
So the woman scorned, is she an angry Black woman for putting this out, or is she just exposing what's going on with her?
I mean, she's exposing, but like,
you think she's crazy?
She's gonna be
I don't think she's crazy. I think she's pissed. I think she's pissed. She got scorned. She pissed, and she she decided to go and take that can of gasoline and pour it on the bridge and light the match, baby. When she hit submit post, Baby, that was striking the match and throwing that thing like Angela Bassett. Oh,
On Wait and Exhale.
And then
And then she had a cigarette, didn't she?
she lit a cigarette and walked away, honey. That's what that lady did. Baby, as she typed, that was pouring the gasoline. But the minute she hit submit on that thing, that was striking the match and throwing that thing up. And the fact that, and I'll be honest, she throwing more gasoline every day that she goes, and this is day such and such and such.
I read that and I was like, okay, sis. Because I went down a rabbit hole. I will be honest. I went down a rabbit hole and I was like, Shannon, I should have called you. And LV, this should have been in the group chat.
Yeah, this should.
Baby, this wasn't a waterfall I was willing to chase. But I want to say, like, somebody I know on Facebook, like, reposted it and was like, what is happening in the church? What is happening?
Well,
I was here for it.
and so there are multiple things with that. Like, clearly, John Doe's wife is not at the point of fuck it yet. Like, she is still just hurt and angry, and there's still love there. Because for me, like, one would think that would be something I would have done, but I was already like,
no, I think posted
I think
it
she
and
on her way
out.
out.
That's I think that's a fuck it right there. Fuck it. I'm about to out him, and every day. I mean, because literally it was like, this is day 3 of my husband John Doe having an affair with executive pastor Susie Q. That's the and like that's it. That's the post.
There's some saying, like, you know, the scariest thing is when she doesn't react, right?
Oh, when it's silence.
Yeah. And so that's more what I'm saying is the fact, like, she's
in silence.
I'm full support of it. I'm just saying, like, I didn't do something like that because I was already like.
But do we think she's already had her moment of silence? And then she was like, guess what? I'm choosing violence.
You know what it could have been is she sat there and probably let him continue to do what he's doing and act like she didn't know and just let him keep on doing it and keep on doing it. And finally was like, you know what, bitch, I got you and I'm going to air you out. So what do we think the repercussions for this act from said woman will be? I mean, she's in Hattiesburg is where I gather.
Well,
so, and her husband is a pastor as well.
Well, is he? I don't
Oh,
think
yeah, girl. He's a pastor. And this is the executive pastor.
They're pastors at the church together. Okay. So, I don't think
what will be the fallout? Oh, cause see, I went there.
Yeah, you did. I personally believe they both need to be sat down.
Are they going to do it?
It depends on the structure of the church. Is there a board of trustees or a deacon board? Is there a council of elders that's in charge?
Who's running the show?
Like who disciplines the pastor when there's misconduct?
So who's going to be at fault though? Are they going to blame the woman? That's exactly what it is. The woman's always going to be wrong because she aired it out, and you could have kept this in house. Is you loud?
No, I couldn't have kept this in house. I
would have aired that shit out so quick.
I need to let this ride, baby.
But I would let it fester and just build. You would think I'm a fool for a long time.
Well, apparently she is, because she posted each day and market. Look, baby,
I only saw one day.
No, like.
So this has been going on.
Yeah, she was marking time. I forget the post I saw may have been like day 2 or 3 or 4.
I saw it yesterday. And
she was
like,
marking
what
time.
is going on?
And I said, okay, well, there we go. This is day so-and-so of my husband having an affair.
Well, here's the other thing. Can we stop having affairs and just like, if you're not happy, can you just leave?
But some people don't have the courage.
No, I understand. I totally know why it happens. I promise you. But like, I'm just saying, like, can we just, grow a set of balls and leave our partners if we're not happy rather than cheat and then get outed on.
That would be the wise thing to do. But I don't know if it's.
Because, I mean, think about all the cheating that's gone on just in real life. Just over and over and over again. And the women find out, they're crushed, they're hurt, and it doesn't necessarily stop.
Then when you complain about it, you're the loud woman.
Yeah. And you're the problem.
There's an issue.
Yeah.
You were the problem. Well, you're just so loud. I couldn't tell you. You don't listen. When I was trying to tell you X, Y, and Z, you overtalked me. Mm-hmm. Think about all that. And it just goes back to what do you expect women to be? Mm-hmm. We are not doormats in the workplace, at home, in politics. We're going to speak out. There are repercussions that come with that.
They fun
being a girl.
It's definitely interesting.
That's why we're so strong.
We are. We're built for this.
Be so strong anymore, though.
I know, right?
What is our favorite political podcast, LV?
iHip News, the ladies from I've Had It podcast, which we also just realized recently. iHip stands for I've Had It podcast news, but Jennifer and Pumps, yeah, they are some loud women.
Point across, and they're fearless.
Yeah.
So we think about that. Women in this space, kudos to you. So we've got our friends over at iHip. We love them. I think about the Diddy trial, and I think about all the women that are out here telling, what's going on. Tisa Tells. She's on YouTube. Amazing. She's been covering this for a long time before things actually came out in public. And she is in the courtroom being Tisa, getting all the news for us. So shout out to her. Courthouse Couture on TikTok. She's breaking down everything. She's an attorney doing an amazing job. Loud women getting things done.
Yeah, she's a favorite of mine. I also I'm a lawyer in real life, and she has actually spent a few days actually inside the courtroom. And she's been breaking this down and tracking the RICO piece of the Diddy case as well. So I love her. I'm a fan of hers. And then another loud woman that I've loved for years, and she's more lifestyle as opposed to politics or anything, is Rashawn Ali. And she has the cool Soror brand. And so she talks about lifestyle things that are affecting the African-American community. And I love her for it. I love her. I love what she's doing and how her platform has grown and expanded, because we can walk and chew gum. We can do a whole bunch of different things, not just one. One last one that I love, and she's politics and I think just kind of culture things. Tabitha Speaks.
OMG.
I love me some Tabitha Speaks. And I believe she is based here in Atlanta.
Really?
Which I did not know. Yes, she's in Atlanta. I'm pretty sure.
Her YouTube is amazing. So I just think about all of these women when we're talking about this subject. Like, look how many strong women that we just named off so quick.
Yeah. And there are so many more.
Exactly.
Making waves, being disruptors.
Keep being loud.
Keep disrupting.
I love being a woman. It's rough sometimes, but I love it.
Progress happens. We move the needle.
And what would men do without us?
They wouldn't be without us. They would not exist without us. We bring life. We breathe life into this world. We bring life into this world. So they wouldn't exist without us.
I'm telling you, a bunch of them would probably be stuck in dead ends because they refuse to get directions.
I know that for a fact.
Hubby might be one of them, stuck at the end of
Leave my brother-in-law alone.
Love him. But, I mean, to all the women out there, keep making noise. Keep saying what you need to say. Yeah. Don't let anybody silence you.
Absolutely. Keep being loud and proud.
As we say on our other podcast, stay loud, stay opinionated.
Absolutely.
Because, child, we need to right now.
We have
now
to.
More than ever.
All right, loud women.
Loud women is a compliment.
Alpha energy.
Yeah, but see, here's the problem. Sometimes when it comes to, I'm about to just take a dump all over this. When we look at alpha males, a true alpha male is never going to admit he's an alpha male, right? He's just going to be I don't have time for that language. Mm-hmm. There's not a label to it, right? When you look at men like Jesse Waters, he's talking about alpha. When you look at all these people that are talking about alpha males, they're not actual alpha males. They're just wannabes, right? Mm-hmm. So sometimes it can have that kind of negative attachment to it when it's referring to it can be the same as loud.
No. So there are men I know who embrace the alpha image. They're like, yeah, I'm the big dog. I'm the alpha dog in this thing. I need you to recognize that. And good, bad, or indifferent, this is probably a poor example. I bet you Diddy made it clear. Well, it's obvious he made it clear. I think he explicitly said it as well, that he was an alpha man. But I know several men who have been yeah, I'm an alpha man.
Right, but they're not going to be the ones to bring it up.
I believe Diddy did. I can see that.
I don't think
he's a true alpha male. I think he's a
I think he is. No, I think he is.
I think he is too.
I think he is. I think, though, he went...
He did nefarious things.
Yeah, I mean...
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's a jackleg. He's a jackleg.
I mean, he's well beyond that.
And he took it... he took it way too far, but oh yeah, I believe the words came out of his mouth. And he made it clear in relationships, business, personal, it did not matter that that was who he was. And,
Take it or leave it.
basically.
Yeah.
Well, and I guess I'm not necessarily kind of being like an alpha male's not going to acknowledge that they're an alpha male, but in my opinion, a true alpha male is not going to feel the need to use that term, right? To be like, I'm the alpha.
So with Diddy, I could see him doing it because he's a narcissist.
Right. I think that like.
So that's the toxic part of him. So I think he told everybody in the music industry and fashion, and we knew that though. Like we knew he was good when he was good. I don't want to take anything away from him. He is like a demon. But I mean, when he was on top.
What? You can be talented.
Yeah.
But
And
still be
and be a demon.
demon.
And he is definitely a demon. But I think about, when he was on his game and branching out with Sean John, that was big. That was big stuff, especially for a black man.
Absolutely.
And so he did have that alpha male energy, but we didn't know what was going on behind the scenes. And now that we see it, it's like,
Well, ladies,
energy.
stay loud. Stay loud.
Stay loud.
Stay opinionated. Stay all the things. Stay changing the world.
Right.
Because we are world changers. We move the needle.
And if somebody tells you that you are too loud, tell them they need to open their mouth.
Tell them to put on earmuffs.
No, because we won't need them to hear us.
You need to hear what the fuck I gotta say. You need to hear what I have to say.
Just making sure you can hear.
Yeah. All right, booze.
Well, we'll see you next week.
Yes.
We're excited to be back.
I know this has been fun.
Yay.
Fun
Exuding
season
our
in store.
loudness. We all have mics to spread our loudness.
Absolutely.
Aren't you so thankful, listener? It's the best. All right, guys. Well, we hope you have a great weekend and a great week, and we will see you next Thursday.
Righty.
Bye, everybody.
You made it to the end of this episode of the A Collective.
Hit like, follow, comment, and share it with the group chat.
Otherwise, Stacey might come for you.
Yikes!
I know, so do it.
Thursdays are for chaos and new episodes of the A Collective.
Not the A-list.
No.
I'm gonna get the name right this season.
Okay. Do we want to start all over?
No.
We need to take a pause for the cause.
Let's mark.
You marked it.
I got it.
Okay. You good?
He's sleeping. He's sleeping.
He talking?
Yeah.
Who are you talking to?
He was yipping.
Say, are you talking to?
He was dreaming.
Okay.
Okay.
He was just yipping. It's fine.
All right. So, like, I'm not a lawyer in real life. I'm sorry. That's wrong.
Yeah, I'm a lawyer.
Fat editing.
Wow. You're either a super fan or crazy. Thanks for being part of the collective. See you next Thursday.